I mean, it used to be that UFC was the best place that you could come in combat sports to make a living and be paid fairly. And now it's no longer, it's one of the worst places to go. It's why so many of their top athletes are leaving to go and find pay elsewhere. It's why their champions like Valentina are selling pictures of their titties on OnlyFans.
Ronda Rousey recently sparked controversy with her remarks about fighters using OnlyFans, suggesting that some athletes are selling pictures on OnlyFans due to low pay in combat sports. Her comment quickly drew attention across the MMA world, leading to a strong response from BKFC fighter Taylor Starling. Starling pushed back against the criticism, saying that people outside the fighters' lives shouldn't judge how they earn their income. She explained that platforms like OnlyFans helped her escape financial struggles, support her children, and focus fully on her fighting career. According to Starling, as long as no one is being harmed and fighters are providing for their families, outside opinions hold no value.
Why so many of their top athletes are leaving to go and find pay elsewhere. It's why their champions like Valentina are selling pictures of their titties on OnlyFans.
Let's break it all down. It all started when Ronda Rousey, the woman who is widely credited with putting women's MMA on the map, appeared at a press conference ahead of her scheduled comeback fight against Gina Carano on May 16th, set to air on Netflix. But the focus of that press conference quickly shifted from the fight itself to a sweeping criticism of the UFC and its pay structure. Rousey made waves when she stated, and I'm quoting here, that the UFC is now one of the worst places to go for fighters when it comes to fair pay. She argued that elite athletes are being forced to find income elsewhere, and then she aimed directly at UFC flyweight champion Valentina Shevchenko.
I mean, it used to be that UFC was the best place that you could come in combat sports to make a living and be paid fairly. And now it's no longer, it's one of the worst places to go.
Rousey claimed that fighters like Shevchenko are, in her words, selling pictures of their titties on OnlyFans, using the platform as a pointed example of how underpaid top-tier fighters truly are. Now, whether you agree with Rousey's broader point about fighter pay or not, those comments landed hard, and the backlash was almost immediate. Valentina Shevchenko was not going to let that slide. The reigning UFC flyweight champion fired back almost immediately, defending her OnlyFans page and her right to use it however she chooses. But Shevchenko didn't stop there. She took a direct shot back at Rousey, pointing out that Rousey herself has been largely absent from the sport since being knocked out by Amanda Nunes back in 2016. Shevchenko said Rousey had, quote, slept too long after her last fight.
I'm for the justice, and I like Ronda. I like her lifestyle, being like close to the nature, to animals, like farm and everything like that. She's great champion, but I feel in this particular case, it was not right to say these things, what she said.
That's a fighter defending her choices, her reputation, and her legacy, all in one breath. And the internet ate it up. But then came someone else. Someone who has lived this reality for years and had a lot more to say. And as this controversy kept spreading, Ronda Rousey took to Twitter, now known as X, to double down on her stance. In a post that quickly went viral, Rousey wrote, I stand by every word I say. If you're a champion and you're being forced to supplement your income because the promotion won't pay you what you're worth, that's not a flex. That's exploitation dressed up as opportunity. The fighters deserve better. Period. That tweet racked up thousands of retweets and sparked even more debate, with fans and fighters taking sides across the board. Some agreed with her broader message on fighter pay. Others felt she crossed a line by using other women's income choices as ammunition. And one fighter in particular had had enough. Enter Taylor Starling. BKFC, that's Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, Star Taylor Starling is widely recognized as one of the first combat sports athletes to openly embrace OnlyFans as a secondary income stream. And when Rousey's comments made their rounds, Starling had something to say, and she said it clearly and without apology. In an interview with Mema Fighting, Starling addressed the criticism head-on. She said, and this is worth hearing in full, as a whole, there's plenty of women I don't like, but at the end of the day, we're all trying to do the same thing. Provide for our families, work hard, and be a good person. I think we can do without tearing each other apart.
Easy. Taylor Starling. Into the body. She got to fight back. She got to fight back. Victory number 6 in the KFC with Taylor Starling. Taylor Starling caught her. She went against the ropes, and that's the time. Josh, you have to take a knee at that point in this sport, right?
She then went on to say something that really resonated. I can't take your opinion to the bank. If you are not paying my bills, and you're not the person laying next to me in my bed, then your opinion is nothing to me. Strong words, clear words, and words backed by a real story. But here's what makes Starling's response even more powerful. Her story. Before OnlyFans, Taylor Starling was working 3 jobs. She had a car on the verge of breaking down. She couldn't fully pay her bills, and training to fight, the thing she loves, was constantly taking a back seat to financial survival. Then, she started her OnlyFans page. In her own words, it put me in a position to train full-time, to buy a new vehicle, and to provide for my children. This wasn't a shortcut, it was a lifeline. And Starling made clear that her priority has always been the same as any parent, making sure her kids are fed, happy, and taken care of. As she put it, you can't take an opinion to the bank. Notably, Starling recently competed at the BKFC Blood for Blood event on May 6, 2026 in Florida. Proof that she's not just talking, she's in the cage, putting in the work. And here's where it gets even more ironic. Starling revealed that she's faced similar OnlyFans criticism from fighters within BKFC itself, her own promotion. Some of her fellow competitors have publicly thrown shade at the platform. But here's the twist. BKFC has actually signed a sponsorship deal with OnlyFans. That means that OnlyFans logo, it's on the ring. And those paychecks fighters cash at the end of fight night? In part, they're coming from the very platform some of those same fighters love to criticize. As Starling put it, and this is blunt, you're taking that check and putting it in your bank account the next day. So do you really hate it that much? It's a fair question, and one that a lot of people in the combat sports world are going to have a hard time answering. So where does this leave us? Ronda Rousey raised a legitimate point about fighter pay in the UFC, a conversation the sport has needed to have for a long time. But by weaponizing other women's income choices to make that point, she opened herself up to exactly the kind of pushback she's now receiving. Valentina Shevchenko defended herself with class and a sharp right hook of her own. And Taylor Starling reminded everyone that behind every headline, there's a real person, a parent, a fighter, a human being, just trying to make it work. As Starling said best, you just have to be confident in who you are and what you do. At the end of the day, if you're not hurting anybody, and you're happy, and your home's happy, then who cares? That's the story. That's the conversation. And it's not going away anytime soon.
Dakota's ready. Dakota's prepared. She trains hard. She's got, again, the best team around her. She's so disciplined. And she's just so fucking good, dude. Like, she is the real deal. She's the full package. I'm super excited for her. I think that this is about to be a big coming out party when she makes it look easy.
Kayla Harrison is stunned, and she warns Dana White to know, this girl will destroy your UFC flyweight division. Two-time Olympic gold medalist, multiple PFL champion, current UFC bantamweight champion, one of the most decorated combat sports athletes on the planet. And when Kayla Harrison was asked about Dakota Deva, she didn't pause. She didn't soften it. She delivered a verdict so clear, so direct, that the entire MMA world needs to stop and listen. Kayla Harrison, she's a killer. She's a killer. She's the future of MMA.
She's a killer. She's a killer. She's the future of MMA, and I think that she's only getting better. She's young, she's hungry, she's disciplined, she's motivated. She's got a good head on her shoulders. She's got a great team around her. I think that the sky's the limit for her.
The future of MMA, from Kayla Harrison. Let that sink in. Before we go any further, let's talk about the weight of who is actually saying this. Because this is not a broadcaster. This is not a promoter trying to sell tickets. This is Kayla Harrison. 2 Olympic gold medals in judo. Multiple PFL championships. Now holding UFC gold at bantamweight after dominating at flyweight. The very same division Dakota Deva is coming for.
Blake. Aspen Ladd, not competed. She just is always going to keep moving.
Yeah, Aspen has done a great job there. Look at this, trying to take the back. Kayla, though, she's on with her escape.
Immediately reacts. But Aspen's in pretty good shape here. She's got a leg caught. Now she's getting the other hook. Kayla's going to end up on top. Tried to go for the armbar. Oh, nasty
Nice
ground
escape.
and pound. Immediately gets to work. Bringing the
Big
right
shot.
hand down. And this is where
Arm
Kayla...
triangle again.
She has been at the absolute top of this sport for years. She knows what elite looks like, because she is elite. And she trained alongside Dakota Deva at American Top Team. She's been in the same gym. I felt the same energy, saying this woman put in the work day after day after day. This is not a media quote. This is not promotional talk. This is a first-hand scouting report from one of the greatest women's MMA fighters who has ever lived. And she said, the sky is the limit.
Brace yourself, I think you hold it to the relay. This is not a rapper, I'm sleeping crack on cocaine. This is cool the second, plenty cognac and major pain. Not the drill sergeant, but the stress that weighing on your brain. It was me, El Boogie, YG, Lucky, ride down road transit, got ugly, waving your hand out the window, shaking.
Now here's where it gets really interesting, because Kayla Harrison didn't just praise Dakota Deva. She sent a message that is echoed all the way to Dana White's desk. Think about it. The reigning UFC bantamweight champion, the woman who once ruled your flyweight division, is publicly calling out a fighter who is not yet in the UFC and saying she's the future of the sport. Dana White is active on social media. He watches everything. And if he saw Harrison's words, there is zero chance he looked away, because that's the kind of endorsement that changes careers overnight. And it wasn't just Kayla Harrison.
Oh, you're the British girl that Richie was telling me about. Okay.
Yeah.
He's trying to make me jealous. What's up? Nice to meet you too. Welcome. Welcome to ATT and PFL. So you're going to be fighting in August?
Yeah.
August? Oh, nice. That's badass. You're making your debut?
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. You staying here for the whole camp, or?
Yeah, just decided to I was going to go home on Thursday, but decided to do the full camp here and then go home.
Nice.
Juliana Miller stepped forward and made the message even louder. Miller is a seasoned veteran. She has been around elite competition long enough to know the difference between a good prospect and a genuine problem. She does not waste words. She does not manufacture hype. And when she was asked about Dakota Deva, she was direct, she was specific, and she was dead serious. Scary. That is the word she used. Not impressive, not talented, scary. And then she gave the details that explained everything. Her mother was a Muay Thai world champion.
Not in the UFC yet, but look at Dakota Ditcheva. She is a scary striker, and she's an amazing athlete, right? But her mom was Muay Thai world champion, so she came up in this sport and has been doing it her whole entire life.
Dakota Deva did not find MMA in her 20s. She was not a crossover athlete who hoped striking would come naturally. She was raised in martial arts. She grew up watching her mother compete at the highest level of Muay Thai on the world stage. She absorbed the technique, the discipline, the competitive mindset from childhood. By the time she stepped into a professional MMA cage, she had already been in this sport longer than most of her opponents had been competing at all. And here's the thing about Harrison and Miller's words. They are not built on potential. They are built on proof. Dakota Deva stands at 15 wins and 0 losses. But it is not the record alone that matters. It is how she has built it. She has finished 14 out of 15 opponents. Let that number sink in. A 93% finish rate. Most UFC champions cannot match that. She is not grinding out decisions. She is not squeaking through tough fights. She is finishing people, and finishing them in ways that leave absolutely no doubt. But the win that changed everything, the win that sent a message to the entire division, came against Taila Santos, a former UFC title challenger who had gone the full distance with Valentina Shevchenko twice. 2 complete fights against the greatest flyweight of all time, and Santos survived both. Dakota Deva put her away in 2 rounds, with devastating body shots, crumpled her on the canvas, and became the first person in history to ever finish Taila Santos. At just 26 years old, Dakota Deva is the 2024 PFL Women's Flyweight Champion, the youngest champion in PFL history, the first British female MMA World Champion, and she collected a $1 million prize to go along with it. But here is what makes her truly dangerous. She is still evolving. She came in as a pure striker. Now she is submitting opponents with rear naked chokes. Every single fight, there is something new, a new dimension, a new tool, a new answer to whatever problem is put in front of her. That growth, on top of that already historic foundation, is what makes Kayla Harrison and Juliana Miller sound less like they are giving a compliment and more like they are sounding an alarm. So let's talk about what happens when Dakota Deva eventually walks through the UFC doors, because at this point, it is a matter of when, not if. Look at the current flyweight landscape. Valentina Shevchenko has ruled this division through elite technical striking and fighting IQ for years. Serious kickboxing credentials sit at the top of the contender list. These are legitimate, elite-level fighters. But here is the reality. Deva brings a style of violence this division has not seen at this level. The Muay Thai clinch work, the body shot combinations that finish fights before opponents even understand what happened, the mid-fight adaptability, the finishing instinct, and she has already made her intentions crystal clear. And in case Dana White needed any more convincing, social media is on fire. MMA fans, analysts, and now 2 of the sport's biggest names are all saying the same thing. At Dana White just watched the Dakota Deva footage. Call her. Sign her. Do it now. That girl is different. Whether or not that tweet has been sent yet, the MMA community is demanding it. The pressure is building. And when the UFC's most decorated flyweight champion is calling a fighter the future of MMA, the clock is ticking. Dana White has never been shy about recognizing talent, and the talent is standing right in front of him. Now, for those who don't know the full story, Dakota Deva's path has not been without adversity. She was forced to withdraw from her highly anticipated bout against Denise Kielholtz at PFL Road to Dubai due to injury, a devastating blow for a fighter at the peak of her momentum. But the undefeated champion, the woman who made history as the first British female MMA world champion, has broken her silence. She is ready, she was healthy, and she is not holding back. This is not a setback story. This is a setup story. 2 elite fighters, 2 separate warnings, 1 identical message, directed straight at the UFC flyweight division. Kayla Harrison said she's a killer. Juliana Miller said she's scared. And the record says she's finished 14 out of 15 professional opponents. Dakota Deva is coming. And when she walks through that UFC door, the flyweight division will never be the same. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe for daily MA updates, and drop in the comments, how long before Dakota Deva is UFC champion? Let us know.
I really was able to find my love for the sport again because of this fight. I absolutely love martial arts, and I'm the fucking best at it. Enjoying that mastery is something incredible. The story of this fight isn't just me and Gina. It's representative of the change in the sport, and the fighters taking their power back. We are the sport. We are not the product of the sport. This is probably the last time in my life that my body is going to be able to peak like this and be able to meet the peak of my athleticism.
Ronda Rousey, the woman who built women's mama, the first female UFC champion, the most dominant combat sports athlete of her generation, has just fired the first shot. And this time, she's pointing straight at the most dangerous undefeated fighter in the world right now, Dakota Ditcheva. Let's set the scene. Ronda Rousey, who we know is scheduled to return to MMA under Most Valuable Promotions on May 16, 2026, taking on Gina Carano at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California, has not been quiet. And now, she's turned her attention to someone very specific.
Step down into the front, sit down, please. Arms in, and down. Down into it. It's only hard for a minute.
In a statement that has absolutely rocked the MMA community, Rousey made her position crystal clear. Her words, "I'm ready, I'm dangerous, and I'm powerful. Dakota should know, I've been watching." Now, let that sink in for a second. This is Ronda Rousey, a woman who defended the UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship 6 times, a woman who submitted opponents in seconds, a woman who made Holly Holm, Miesha Tate, and Kat Zingano household names because she beat them, and she is now officially putting Dakota Ditcheva on notice.
Big flow down. Handshake, tip toss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Rousey has returned, first to you at Revolution in March 2026, and now back to Emma. And based on everything she said, she's not here to shake hands. She's here to reclaim a throne, and she believes Dakota is standing on it.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! What the?
Now, here's where it gets electric. Because Dakota Ditcheva, 15-0 undefeated, the current PFL Women's Flyweight Champion, the first British female MMA World Champion, she did not stay silent. Dakota took to X, formerly Twitter, and posted a message that sent the entire MMA world into a frenzy. Her exact words? Ronda Rousey is a legend, but legends retire for a reason. I'm 15-0. I've never been finished. I've finished everyone. If she wants it, she knows where to find me. I'm not hiding. There it is. Dakota Ditcheva, 27 years old, 12 knockouts in 15 fights, the youngest champion in PFL history, looking Ronda Rousey dead in the eye through a screen and saying, "Come on then. This isn't just social media noise. This is a call out, and the Emma world is going absolutely wild." Now, for anyone who needs to be caught up, because not everyone has been tracking Dakota Ditcheva's rise, let me tell you why Rousey's warning is significant. Born July 25, 1998, in Sale, Greater Manchester, England. Her father is Bulgarian, born in Semikov, and her mother, Lisa Howarth, is a multiple-time world kickboxing champion. So Dakota didn't just grow up around martial arts. She grew up in it. By 2016, she was already winning gold at the IFMA World Muay Thai Championships in Jingping, Sweden, representing Great Britain in the junior 57 kg division. She was 17 years old. She transitioned to MMA in 2021. Her first fight, first round stoppage. Second fight, first round TKO. And she hasn't looked back since. She signed with the PFL in 2022. Since then, she has gone on an absolute rampage. In 2024 alone, she beat Lisa Molden, Chelsea Hackett, and Jenna Bishop, all by TKO in the first round, before facing Tayla Santos, a former UFC title challenger, in the PFL World Championship final in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And she finished Santos by body punches in round 2. $1 million. First British female MMA world champion. History made. As of January 2026, she sits at number 1 in the PFL women's flyweight rankings, and she's been rated Female Fighter of the Year by ESPN, MMA Junkie, Combat Press, Cageside Press, Low Kick MMA. The list goes on.
The planet right now, fantastic strikers, veterans, future legends of the game here.
For sure.
Santos
is in big trouble. She's in big trouble. Dakota Digital to the body again for the championship.
This is not a prospect. This is the real deal. Now, some people might hear Ronda Rousey and think of 2016. Think of the loss to Holly Holm. Think of the TKO against Amanda Nunes. And they'll say, why should Dakota be worried? Let me remind you who Ronda Rousey is. She was the first female fighter signed by the UFC. She went 12-0. She submitted 6 title challengers, dislocating elbows along the way. She finished Kat Zingano in 14 seconds, still the fastest title fight finished by a woman in UFC history. She averaged under 3 minutes per fight in the octagon. She was voted the most dominant athlete alive, not just in MMA, by Business Insider in 2015. ESPN ranked her the best female athlete of all time in a fan poll. This is a woman who once lived on 3 jobs just to chase her Olympic dream, and then became the face of an entire sport. She built the house that women's MMA lives in today.
Maybe let me have it.
Okay. I'm gonna die on this sword right here.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey.
Bicep slicer. That lubed me up for the kill.
So when Ronda Rousey says, I'm ready, I'm dangerous, and I'm powerful, and then looks at Dakota Ditcheva, that is not a throwaway line. That is a calculated message from one of the smartest competitors this sport has ever seen. So where does this go? Let's break it down. Step 1. Rousey fights Gina Carano on May 16, 2026 at the Intuit Dome. That fight happens under Most Valuable Promotions. If Rousey wins, the narrative around a potential super fight with Ditcheva becomes a serious conversation. Step 2. Dakota is currently under PFL. She was scheduled to fight Denise Kielholtz at PFL Dubai in February 2026, but had to withdraw due to injury. She will return. And when she does, the question of who she fights next becomes must-watch television. Step 3.
Rounds introducing the blue corner. At 5'4", weighing in 125 1/4 pounds. As a professional, she's nearly perfect. 7 wins, just 1 loss. Fighting out of San Diego, California, Gina Bishop.
Georgina Bishop sent a massive bombshell message that echoed throughout the MMA community. Standing in front of cameras with unwavering confidence, Bishop declared, "I am ready to fight whenever. I want to stay busy and I don't care who they put in front of me, so I'll take what I can get."
I am ready to fight whenever. I want to stay busy and I don't care who they put in front of me, so I'll take what I can get.
Now, on the surface, this sounds like a fighter ready for war, but there was an underlying message here. Bishop was specifically targeting Dakota Dicheva's undefeated hype train. She wanted to be the one to derail it. She wanted to be the fighter who exposed Dakota in front of the whole of America. The MMA world took notice. Social media lit up. Fans started choosing sides. Was this going to be the night someone finally cracked the Dakota code? Was Gina Bishop about to shock the world?
By TKO or KO, I will tell you the confidence that she's going to have now getting up is going to be unbelievable. And there it is.
Beautiful knee.
Bishop wasn't just confident. She predicted a specific finish. She went on record saying she'd finish Dakota by TKO or knockout. That's a bold claim when you're facing one of the most dangerous rising stars in the sport. But Dakota Dicheva, she wasn't shaken, not even a little bit. While Gina Bishop was making bold predictions, Dakota Dicheva fired back, not with trash talk, but with cold, calculated confidence, rooted in preparation.
Right there looking for that counter left hand.
She dropped back, gave up a little ground, and then loaded that left hand. And
in her response, Dakota revealed, "Yeah, no, I just ended up on the ground and we've been working all that systems on the floor, me and one of my coaches. So yeah, I feel like I was just really comfortable there and happy to stay there. And it worked out that the submission came and I took it straight away."
Yeah, no, I just ended up on the ground and we've been working a lot of systems on the floor, me and Aaron Aby, one of my coaches. So yeah, I feel like I was just really comfortable there and happy to stay there. And it worked out that, you know, the submission came and I took it straight away.